Hello and happiest days to you folks. I hope you guys are having an absolutely amazingly awesome day today. So today I'm doing my 16th Let's Play here for this game. I did try to record this earlier today and did that stuff and such, and then unfortunately just didn't. So sorry about that. So I'm doing this as a separate time for you folks. This is Fantasyland here is created in Planet Coaster 2 for you folks. I started this back in Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 after I finished games and that sort of a thing too, or in that case all the scenarios. I create a sandbox with all the stuff turned on, make it harder and that sort of a thing too, and to get this stuff knocked out for you folks. And this is a 12 section park. We're here, looking here at the opening section with pink and blue. This is all about kids, fairy tales, stories. The rides here need to be all ages, right? And that sort of stuff, right? All up and down the plot for you folks. And then the rest of it's subdivided in other parts, and that sort of thing too. And then also, so the problem is that I'm going to start with 10k to minimum. I can take here. The Sorcery pack was just released about a month ago. It's the first fantasy themed DLC in any of the Titan games that I recall. So I really wanted to embrace that and do it again for you folks. And I've been recording that. Now, unfortunately, the first week, day, I built this teacups run and this carousel for you folks, and then unfortunately after that had happened, we ran into some issues with the finances, even in building up the infrastructure. We just weren't making any money, and then I took out a loan for this mini coaster here. As you know how much coasters can bring in people, and it's a junior coaster that was released in the same expansion set with these guys. And then also this chair swing over here was made to. And then with that loan, and then again I was basically even, so then I took out a loan the next day while playing for folks here for this flying coaster, also released in this same set too. And that's what I think too. And then after that was released, I did this Ferris wheel called the Sun. It's a bigger wheel. It's called the Big Wheel for you folks. Next, then I spent some week decorating, and then because I didn't have a whole lot of cash, if you recall, and that's it. Okay. And then after that, I then spent a week with just the money that I was bringing in for this sun flare here in the middle. I'm sorry, I start with, and then I did bring in some money for this all ages wooden roller coaster. I thought we'd also start to bring in people to bring up our attentions and that sort of thing too. So you can check it out too over here. It's called Splinter. I changed it to Lion's Splinter, which is the Lion's Power fairy tale for you folks. And then I built the sun flare here, and that bumper cars. 42, and then after that was over with, I then went ahead and then I had some cash, and so I was like, so I took out about $9,500 more to build this large and pricey alignment with spinning mouse, which I really thought would put us on the map in a major way coaster right here. So I think 3 blind mice, can't because I don't want to edit it. See here, it's got a great rating, so that's sort of thing too. So I thought it would definitely put us over the edge. It didn't. We're only making like nothing, right? $3.50. So then I took a week to build some more for wild rides after getting some cash in this Tilt-A-Whirl, and then this Twister, and then this Tiny Eye, all of which began to make me money. And then last week I had about 19,000, and so I finished off this section with a whole bunch of decors. Decor. Really started to put it on the map in a major way. It started to make that cash because it increased the prices of these things, right? And so I thought that helped. Then I opened up Atlantis. I started with this blog form, which isn't that exciting, but actually makes money. Check it out here. $20. And then next week, well, day, but you get the idea. I did this pool opening for your folks and built the pool. And then after I did that, I then built a few log flumes. And then yesterday I built a couple more. And that sort of thing too. And so basically what happened yesterday, during the day proper, I built this one. This large log flume that I called the Triton's Trap. Here, folks, let's see if you can see. And that's you can check it out here too. And then you can see here that we had somebody tell me that somebody had hit a hard sword. Now I don't know if that means I hit a sandbox or another piece of a rod or anything like that. So I turned it a little bit to get it away from people, just as a heads up. And that's everything too. And then the other issue we were having with these slides was where I was going to place. I had issues placing this water slide here too, which is called the purple plunge. I built it in the career mode myself. I don't typically build rides, and that's another thing too, because you've seen a bunch of misclicks already. I'm going to have a quick simple pop out. I usually just go ahead and do what's given to me in the game, right? But there's actually a section where you have to build your own as good as possible. And so I was trying to put it right here, but that didn't work. And then so I built it right here. And then after that, I also built this flying vine, which I built too. And I actually really have going right there through that too. So I thought it would be fun for me to ride those rides and then show you all the things that I've been doing for you guys. And then we'll get some tech research done for you folks too. So let's go ahead and ride this ride first. Not bad. And you can see how much we're making there too. In the abyssal ascent, which I called it. 3.4, a little less than the $4 per hour. And then the purple plunge over here, I need to push side to this plunge. You'll know that because I did that during yesterday. Here, let's ride this, and I'll make a lot of money. And this will be $23, 89 cents. Now the other stuff that I built here too, and then I'm going to do the tech too. So let me do the tech first, so I'll make sure what I do. So basically, this has only been like an hour of play in the game. This is about 3 hours of actual, like, it was paused. So the only thing I got left are coasters and power. So it's the special coasters here, which gives me that sort of spinning-ish ride and runs level 2 too. So it's not, but just one blueprint for it. Alright, so let's go ahead and get that unlocked for effects. And then the other one are some power stuff. Let me see if I can find out what I just grabbed and make those switches. See if I got anything that's a little more family friendly. So that's custom, so let's see it easily enough. I'll come back. Alright. Basically, one of the things I need to just finish up before, and let me show you the other things I built here. Also, you can see me starting to get a color scheme into that's more Atlantis. It has this nice bright teal and that dark teal. And then that copper color there to sort of represent it's sort of it's treasures like gold and that sort of thing too. There's no gold in the game. For you folks. And then after that is done, so now I'm going to show you the other things I built here too. So one of the things that I did do here is I built a heat stain here. And this was called Dry Atlantis, and I actually swapped it with apparently its name with the other one over here on this side, which was Sorcery. And then we recall one of the things that we were having issues with was getting people invested in sending us that money. Here are their thoughts, right? So you can check that out too, and you can see that they still need hunger, thirst, and souvenir. And so I bought one of each of those last night. And just as I opened up, and then like an hour and a half, maybe an hour and a half later, right, they still were bringing these. So I also built over here this latte. Love coffee shop. It's called Poseidon's Perk. I also built over here a bathroom here too. Just on the other side of this, so you can see it too. It's here. Second restroom. And then over here, I built a pizza and a hat place. And that sort of a thing. Two with those decors that I do. You can check these out too. The hat place is, if I recall correctly, it's called Poseidon's Plumes. It is. And over here, the pizza place is Siren's Slice. Actually, it's called Siren's Slice. The last thing I need to do is finish out. So here, if you can take a look here at our park ride, you can see the only thing I need to build up is those unique attractions. So we're going to build some more for that, right? And that sort of thing too. And so if you look here at the pools, I actually started, the pools. If you look here, you will see a big number of these pools that are over here, right? Slides. Here in the front section, I got 7. I started, but there's everything too, and I have 6 right now. I think got more of some. But those are racers, right? That one got already in Park 1, already in Park 4, already in Park 1, already in Park 1. Not this next one, already in Park is 0. That's the one body was there, and then 3 and 4, 3 and 1. That's what I need to build today. So that the best one of those is going to be the one. It's this wild stone, and that's the biggest of these body slide lines. Alright, so I'm going to build a few of them actually, right over here on this side of the line. And then if you recall, I can't do on this, the left or the right, because that's where I'm holding space for this transport rights. Did it there. I could, right, I built up some space there if I needed to, but I'm not going to. This is actually pretty small. Now here, I'm going to show you what the issues are here. Sometimes, and this actually was an issue last time, maybe it won't be this time. And you say, so we're going to place this right over here. And we put it right here. Like a little bit. Try it again. Nope. You can see all those are extracted. So what I'm going to do here, it's still having the same issue. I'm just going to place these over at the side and then move them over. when you move, it needs to be the flim platform for me. Not for the slide, probably. So you need to say, and then I'll move over here for folks. Zoom in. Let's make sure this is placed correctly. And you'll note that the bottom here for zooming in, when you move things around, actually removes the run because it's already placed. So you have more screen to make sure you're putting this in the right place, right? Change that name to Sorcery's slot 1. Just to do. Nope. Yeah, Sorcery's slot 1. And then after that. Now we're going to see, let me see if I can just copy that instead of building it from scratch. Do before. Nope. So let's just do the same thing a couple more times. Over. Yeah, I feel like this one probably, if I'm thinking about it, way over a little more. I want to make sure I have enough space. I'll take a look and see. Try it out. Again, I tried that on the slide. I was like, why is it doing this? Just on you. Normally they grab the phone drive to move things around. I'm going to delete one thing about this diving board here. This would be Siren's slot 2. What we did with the other racing slides, I'm turning this into a racing race. We'll test that one too. Now one more. Grab the platform and bring it up. This will be good to go. Just to see. Closer, maybe. To go to those. And you can see the bottom where the red is those you can't be placed. Check it. Yeah, that's it. Alright. And that's going to be Siren's slide 3. Tested 2. on. That's good to go. For all of our people. Alright, now. So actually one of the weird things that happened here, that didn't happen in the previous one, the previous one I actually placed down the path too, so these are getting placed in the path properly. So let's place down some path on these two. I don't need to have queues here. So we're going to head over here on this side of the path. This needs to be the Atlantis mosaic wooden path, obviously. Now let's go over to here. We're going to go with a bigger. This will be a steep. And so the first one we're going to go here, which should be. That's good. Neil, let's just, while I'm here, let's go ahead and increase the staff scale. Get the rest of that connected to my pole. Maybe I should just do a regular path. Try it. See how it works. One more. Maybe that should be 8 now. I'm thinking about it. And just do it on each side of that. Yeah, I'll do that. 8. Nope. 8. 4 back. Thank you. Is that good? Let's go over here on the others. Should be good to go. We'll straight up. That's good. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and escape and save. Just fast for you folks. You can see my other one now. I already got here. Slide to blue. This is a heads up. Just watch this, see how they go. I'm good to go. Play test it and then open it. Alright, yeah, it's good numbers. Now, the next thing we'll do over here is we will open them up and see how much money we're making off of them. Right? This will be bargain. 250, no, not the worst thing, but cheap. It's not exactly the best either. Here, open. Bargain. And one over here. Good to go. 4 for you folks. Alright, while over here, I'm thinking about it. I do want to be moving some of these diving boards over here too. Right? So we're going to be coming in. Sorry. Just let zoom in. That's probably fine over there. Let's move that one too. That's good. Just do that. Right. Yeah, that's what it was. Now one thing you will note is that after, when I had initially placed these shops down here, before I turned it to a void, you can see these supports are there. They weren't there. That's why I built them. Right? That's what I was into. But there's one of those in front of Latte Love. It'll probably be fine because it's a little further up. And then one of these over here, right in front of the bathroom. So I'm not sure if that'll work. So we'll need to be watching. Also, another thing that happened, you can see over here that we had to shut this ride down because we had too much gunk on it. It was not getting the water here, wasn't getting the filter. Now, if you recall, I did build a water filter when I first opened up the pool. It's in its initial place. And that's what they do, but unfortunately, because it was there, right? Unfortunately, for those reasons here. So, right, you can see that you need to be in the sight of a filter. So I do filters around. I put a filter over here for these slides. I just built it. That should be good to go. And that's sort of the thing too. And then also over here too, I put filters. This filter is for the Triton's trap there, and then also these things down here too, right? So we can choose here too. So I also put them down here too. So all the things are here. I also had to put one away in the middle over here because some of the flames weren't getting caught, and I didn't want them to get shut down. The first one I built did. Yes, you'll see those around too. So you need to be bold and that's more proactive, right? Just see about right now. So now let's build a flat right here. So here, now that'll be fun stuff. For the win stuff. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, I should add some sun loungers down here too. To get myself because I keep building in one belt slides there. So you can check out. So I'll just do that really quickly while I'm thinking about it. Sun loungers for the win. Loungers. Turn it. It's good. Get those sun lounger fun tops on. Because these are in the way of these roads I'm going to go ahead and move them to. While I'm thinking about it. That's fine. I'll not do that. They'll be fine there. I can remove all of this. Left guard chair. That's good. Good to go. I know, if you will. Quick save. Thinking about it. Alright, now the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you some flat stuff we can build too over here. So that are more in the sort of Atlantis and water park. The whole theme, right? So we're going to do it. Save. So let's check out some of this stuff for if folks. Alright, so let me get the escape button. Sorry, that was not the escape. I thought the escape button would take me over there, but it's not. So I hate that escape button. That's why I was saying here, let me show you. So basically you will note, like I mentioned earlier, once I built all that decor for these things, we really started to make that money. This chair swing right here was something that I built early on, right? And then I slowly, over time, I built those two gazebos here, right? And that sort of thing too. And then this garden was with the last 1900. Well, not 2000, that I spent before I moved on, right? And here, let me show you how much money I'm making here once per eye, right? Tons of money once it's all decorated up. And so, another place that I slowly built up was here. Check out this Crystal Unicorn carousel. You can see it's making, it's there. The exciting level. Not that great at just 1.4 already, but lots of people want to ride 5.45 and the cash. The teacups, on the other hand, that named Splenderella over here. You can see them here are only 3.69. They're actually a little less, even though they're clearly more exciting, right? Because I just don't have as much themes, right? And they're not there, and they're there for the summer part, right? And so you can see all that stuff, right? And so yeah, I think that's important. Is having a nice decorated section. Now this fairy tale theme actually has here. I'll show you my scenery here. And that's something just as a reminder, so you can check. So you can see here in the scenery side of things, I have the fairy tale tab. Whoops, sorry. Here. No, it's right there. You can see there's like 550 items, right? You've got tons of that stuff, right? All up and down for it. But then you'll also see that there's not any nobility links came with it, right? Except for all those ones with the circle underneath, those ones that are downloaded from one of them. If we'll call it, right? And that sort of thing too. But the one that did come with the game that we're using right now on the Atlantean side of things is the aquatic section. So let's look at that right now. I'll pull this off the custom section here so you can just see what everything's coming in. You can see we got 335 bubbles. That's not bad. And those are everything from those benches and bins and anchor. That's right there. To decorations. You can see lights that I've grabbed. Right, all sorts of stuff right there too. Right, so you can check it out all up and down the blocks, right, for your folks. But what you won't see down here, this is many items. But when you look over here at the blueprint section, I think you'll be surprised. Tons of blueprints came with the game. Right for it, folks. So I like that a lot. Right? So here, so we can definitely do. That's where all my buildings come from. That I built, from here at the staff section, or all the ones that I built over here too. Right? They're called shells. So you place a building first, and then you place them down over top. Right, but here, let me show you. But what I want to really do is to push my flat rides to the next level. To get that. So the glimmer swing, the chair swing that I renamed to glimmer swing. Glimmer wing swings right, kind of cash early, right in front. Here. So we're going to do that over here with my flat ride. So if you take a look, there are a few flat rides over here that have aquatic themes. You can also search for them. That sort of thing. Now some of these are already built, and because of the fact that we need unique rides in order to get to the next thing, I will build it. So one of those is the aquatic tiny alley here. And the other one over here is I think there's teacups there too, also ones that I've built here too. But the rest of these are more, and because they're over here, they can be a little more exciting, a little more money making. Right? I'm not going to be bring it this way, and that's over there too. And so those should a little bit more. So let's take a look and see what I could do. The first one over there is the buoyancy. The buoyancy is a rod with that has like a lot of that jump and that sort of thing too. You can make it an aquatic. That would make sense, right? And then over here, I can build the forge. This is a great rod with great numbers already, base 5.60, and I can definitely theme that aquatic with the forge and just give it the name of like something like the octopus or something like that. Right? Or even something like chill, like Scylla or Caribus or something like that. Kraken. To make more of the finishing thing, right? So I can totally and get that blended. Another option would be to build this one over here, which is the hammer swing, which is good money. Probably coming in soon, and that sort of a thing too. So that would also be a nice option too to put over here at 7.6. Okay. So another option over here would be the monsoon shoot. And monsoon shoot comes along, it doesn't have great excitement, but again, the monsoon shoot, kind of like the forge or the buoyancy, sort of that area that we definitely do. And again, this is more about feel than it is about the right fit for cash, right? The last one here is the Enterprise style rod, call it a collider. Again, get a minute, get that one. So I think the best ones to do here are either the buoyancy for the steam, or the forge, or the monsoon shoot. So we're going to do monsoon shoot because I have the cash I'm sitting here too, and I already did it. So it's not like I'm going to do something new, right? And while I'm doing that, I'm going to have another super pop. This is a heads up for my king. That monsoon shoots before you folks get this one. You can see all that, right? You can see the monsoon shoots base where I was just shooting it. Going in, or 2.69. Fears 3.07, nausea is a little. Those aren't the best numbers. But that kind of theming, just get right. For the numbers are out. So again, we need to keep this space and this space over here and free for transport rods, and then I probably only keep this space free for coasters, and that's a thing too, right? And that's a thing too. Now that I'm thinking about it, that might not be the worst place. Actually, up over here earlier. Right here next to the log flume. And since it's right next to the log flume, before I could put something like a coaster or a bigger transport rod or something like that too, that might not be the worst idea still. You know, but now that I'm thinking about it, putting it right here, underneath this log flume, might not be the worst idea in the world. Let me see that collect, because you can see it starts off right and that thing too, right? So let's check it out. That might not be the worst idea in the world. I might be talking myself into it. Show here. It works. I can put it here. That's not. Yeah, but the problem is with me putting it too close to that place is that if I need to move that again and tilt it again, or you get away from that bathroom, I can't. So, or I can just move the bathroom first. So let's do that. Let's move the bathroom first and see where I go. And that's what we're saying too. Now do it. I'm not going to bother with that. Let me test it. Yeah, monsoon shoot. Yeah, you can see it there. All the openings for its folks. That's good. We'll go ahead and start with building that up for all folks. That's good. Actually, now that I think about it, it might be the better idea to put like where I can put the place church. Yeah, I'll leave it. Yeah, let's leave it there. That's everything. I think it'll be really fun right there. So we're going to start connecting that entrance to this panel for folks. So I'll probably zoom in a little bit. We'll be using as the path tool this arrow, which isn't the best in the world, but it's also not far worse too. There you go. Should be good. Yeah, all the good stuff. That's and then here on the other side will be the regular path, not the queue. And then I want to see if those folks walk through this. I think they will. If not, I can move the queue to the right. Yes. This was 4 and 4. Which is weird. I don't remember hitting that button either. Sorry about that. HDMI. Lots of misclicks. So I'm just going to delete that. That should be good. And then the other, yeah, I'll just go ahead and do the regular path. That should be, again, I was on the path, which is very easy to do with music guns. So, again, we'll just see if they can go through that. I think that they can. They go through the walls and they get going into like restaurants and stuff. I think they can, but let's go just to see. We'll also build some benches here too, and then some bins here too. Just to keep these folks good to go from all of that stuff. Or trash cans would be what we call them here in America. That's pretty far away, actually. Weird. Yeah, it's here. Sorry, folks. Yep. No, those are built. The next place we're going to go is to build a power system 2. Which needs to get built over here. Also need to expand the path because I don't have enough path. I'm already out at the edge of my path. path, and then another power system here to get that power on. At least with the staff. That's it. Right here. Next one. Facility section. Power sugar bill. This is going to be the power generator, folks. Yeah, snaps the road. And then we'll need to connect that cord. Monsoon should here. Should be double checked. Now let's go ahead and ride this real quick for you folks. Which it is here. So you can see. Now let's watch this. For you folks. Actually, this could go. Some more pop later, but while I'm doing it. Hey! That's doing that good stuff. And for folks, let's go ahead and see what's that now. It was, remember, 6469. Let's see what it's at now. And how much more we're going to make. Let's start. It's at 3.83. That's a big giant jump. There's more. It's like 1.2 on these. Right, that's good stuff. So now, let's check how much money we're going to be making. That's just a lot of money. $29.25. That's a huge ride. That we just added to our park, right? And that's sort of the thing too. Alright. I actually have about 10 minutes left for you folks. I did end this one at about an hour. But this one I have because I had some issues building those slides. But now I know where those go. For you folks, and so while I'm doing that, I'm going to invest some time. Let's just go ahead and theme this trading strip for you folks. You can see again there that bright aqua is one of these colors for you folks. So let's just come over to here to Abyssal Ascent. And we're going to the theme of this area with this corner. That was not working on my Zoom, so sorry about that. I'll show you this a few times. Should be good. Here, in the Triton shirt. We're going to make the flume area over here that color. That's good. And another one of those. That color too over here on the other side of things. And again, you can definitely just choose stuff here. But that's everything too. That's good. That looks good. then after that is done, the next thing we're going to do is choose a darker team. Which I've chosen for you folks. 0. Also, I've got a few times. Cancel. Close. Let's make that the color here on one of the flames. Let me see if I can do that here on the area. Then the other one will be that color. Each color. Alright, that's good. Cover for the last one, and then this close. I think this works again. Cover for the wing. Let's see. Sharp is the last one here. Take that. And copy and paste that. Also put it here in the section 2, where there are these white belts. Okay. And then this one will be, I think the teal would be good there. Bright teal. Alright, check it out. For you folks in the, or yeah, I actually do think that maybe a brighter color than that. The teal. Maybe something a little brighter. For the base. Like morning blue. Let's just try. Yeah, that's fine. For the base. There. For you folks. Yeah, it's good. Alright, now also what I'm thinking about this too, I did want to start adding in these, since I got about 5 minutes left, start adding in these pavilions that you can see over here at the Triton Shore that I put over top of this. Not Triton Shore. Here at the loft. Pick a guy. And so let's go ahead and start putting some of those down. Just to make these things a little nicer. Yeah, I'll need to probably turn that over here to the side. That's pretty small, so I definitely could probably make that fast. It's probably a little weirdly overlapped. You can see over there on the side, but it's probably a little bit better. You probably know this one, zoom out, and that's my view. They probably wouldn't care about that either. It turns a little bit better. That's good. It's a little weird. I'll try it just to see. Again, that's just one person per ride, but that's the only way I could get to there after turning it. So I don't want that really sort of ride it at all, right? That's what you think. That's not the perfect one. I was looking for how it is. That worked. Yeah, it just feels a little weird. So I'll just look over there. Alright. But alright. That's not bad, right? And that's sort of the thing too. So I'll go ahead and cut there for you folks when all that stuff was done. For us all in a second time through. Alrighty, but there you go. I really hope you enjoyed that too. For you folks. Again, next after building and finishing up those water slides with one of each for those unique ratings. just to finish this last section before moving on. Maybe next time I might do another flat AT here, or start to build coasters, right? And that's what we're too. So we'll check out that, see what that looks like coming up soon. For you folks, and then that's what's coming up soon. I hope you enjoyed that talk for you folks. Know what your thoughts are, and then thank you so very, very much. For just taking some time out of your day and investing in it, right? And even watching my video, because we all have so many things that are happening in our lives, right? And we're pulled in so many different directions too. So if you spent this time with me, that's incredibly humbling, and I appreciate that so very, very much. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.